What do you do when police knock on your door wanting to speak to you or wanting to come into your house? The first thing you want to ask them is, do they have a warrant? What you mean by that is you're asking, do they have a search warrant to come into your home and search? Now, there's very famous case law, Bumper v. North Carolina, that talks about this very issue. What it says in that case is that when you have a warrant, you have to ask the officers, like to see a copy of this warrant, and they have to show it to you. They have to show a warrant that shows your name, your property, what's being looked for, and the reason behind it. If they're not able to show you that information, they do not have a valid search warrant and they are not allowed to go into your house. If you speak to police and they don't have a search warrant, you can say respectfully, officers, but I'm not going to allow you into my home and I'm not going to come out of my home. You don't have to let police in. You do not have to make their jobs easy. If police want to come into your home without a warrant, you do not have to let them in. If they have a warrant, make them show you the warrant. If the warrant is faulty, if the warrant is for your neighbor's house, if it's not even a real warrant and just a bunch of paper, like in that Bumper versus North Carolina case, then it's considered an invalid warrant. And any searched items that are found that could incriminate you could be thrown out of court. The reason for that is the consent that is given for someone to give to police to allow them to search their home, if based on a false premise, such as I have a warrant that I don't actually have, that is illegal. And that's what the Bumper case talked about. In that case, it involves someone who, officers who said they had a warrant, did not have a warrant, did not produce a warrant, and because of that, the homeowner acquiesced. They let them into their home and allowed them to search. That's illegal. You're not allowed to do that as law enforcement, because at that point, what you're doing is you're consenting to let them come into your home to search, but only because you believe that they have a reason to be there. They have lawful authority. They have a signed warrant by a judge that says they can come into your home. They don't have that and they don't show you, you do not need to let them into your home. Let's say they do have a search warrant and they're in your home and they're searching. At that point in time, you don't have to talk to them. You don't have to engage in conversation with them. If they have any questions, you could give basic information if you choose. But at that point, you could say, officers, respectfully, I decline to answer any questions without having a lawyer present to help me through this legal process. Now, a lot of times people get confused when they do that, when they invoke their right to silence. They don't necessarily know what it means. They think it means, well, does this imply that I'm guilty? Does this hurt me in the court of law? And the answer is no. You have those rights for a reason. They are enumerated to you. You're allowed to say you don't want to speak to police. And there's law that protects you in court that says you can't have someone's inability to speak to police or their choice to remain silent. That can never be brought up against you in court. It's illegal for them to do that, and prosecutors know that they can't bring that up. You have those rights for a reason, because you have the right to remain silent. They do not have a right to use that against you. If you feel like you are about to be searched, or a search warrant could be issued for your home, or a search warrant has already been issued and your home already searched, do not delay any further. Please contact Inland Empire Criminal Defense at 909-939-7126. Thank you.